Welcome to the AFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things AFC West. From the best creators in the division, including Denver Broncos creator Ryan, Kansas City Chiefs creator Marcus, Las Vegas Raiders creator Samoan, and Los Angeles Chargers creators Bolt Bros. Catch the AFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the AFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. AFC West Roundtable, welcome back into another episode. We got so much in store for you, just like we do every single week, except today it's a little bit extra special because this is a holiday episode brought to you by Roundtable Sportsman. Happy holidays to everybody. Safe travels to everybody watching. Let us know where you guys are traveling for the holiday season. In fact, are you guys traveling right now, listening to us on the road or in the air? Let us know in the comment section below. But we're not going anywhere. We're still here to bring you the best NFL analysis each and every single week. Here to break down everything that happened in Week 12 and, of course, preview Week 13. And, guys, instead of going around the table, oh, how are you feeling, guys? The division is still the damn same, and so I feel like we all kind of know how everybody's doing. We'll get an idea about how you're feeling when we talk about these games. It's the holidays, and the holidays only come around every so often, so we're going to go around the table, and I want to hear everybody's favorite holiday dish for Thanksgiving before we go ahead and we break down these games. Now, I'm putting them on the spot, by the way, okay? For everybody watching, I did not tell these guys beforehand. I just thought about this. Guys, you better get ready for Christmas because the final episode before Christmas, we're talking about favorite holiday movies, so you better start doing your homework. Ryan, let's start off with you. Favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Not everyone makes it, at least like the Thanksgivings I've had, but like a good mac and cheese with some breadcrumbs on top.
There you
That's
go.
probably my favorite. Yeah. You've never had that?
On top, okay. No, I have not. I'm going to be honest. I've never had that.
That's the only type of mac and cheese I like.
Where it gives it like a little crunch?
Yeah. I'm a big texture guy, so.
A little bit on top. Yeah, that is true. I feel like I've heard a lot of people say mac and cheese, but I feel like I've rarely ever been to like a place that actually had it on Thanksgiving. It's pretty rare, Ryan. That was a good one. Andrew, let's go on over to you. What do you like?
You know, for Thanksgiving, I'm pretty basic. I'm be quite honest with you. I like the yams with dark meat turkey. I'm telling you right now, that is the money combo.
Dark meat.
You got to have both of it at the same time. Yams and then the dark meat. I'm telling you, it is fire. Then I do like the bean casserole as well too. You know, the green beans with the little onion things on the top. That's pretty solid too. But man, you cannot go wrong with the sweet yams with the dark meat. Got to go dark meat. White meat can be a little too dry. I don't like that.
That dark meat good though, huh? That's good.
The dark meat's the way to go, man. I'm telling you that. I'm all about it. That's me.
Hey man, it's I didn't think about the segment before I started. But you know what? We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the punches, man. Shout out Andrew, man, who's just ready. He's just ready for Thanksgiving, baby. Marcus, let's go down to you.
I'm already ready. I gotta get on. Let's go.
So it's interesting that both of them kind of said something that I my two would be a Ritz cracker creamy mac and cheese. It's fantastic. If you haven't had that, it's like Ritz crackers that crumbled up on top. Phenomenal. If you haven't had, there's a bunch of recipes online for it. And then sweet potato casserole with marshmallows and pecans on top. So yeah, that's what those are my top.
Marcus, stun on them for a second. All right, man. He was going. He could have said anything basic. And I like the turkey. I like the green bean. He said, "Hold up. I like the specialty." All right, man, Marcus. Yeah, all right, I like it. I've never had either of those things, but hey, maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year. Samoan, how about you, man?
Man, there's so much to choose from, right? I mean, you can't go wrong with the tamales, man. I don't know why, but you know, eating tamales on Thanksgiving,
really?
Man.
You're Samoan.
Yeah, you know, tamales from like Vaughn's or something, or
36 spam.
You could go fried chicken. I don't eat turkey. I don't like turkey. Especially dark meat turkey. But I mean, fried chicken, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, green beans, all of that. I know Geno Smith's favorite dessert though is apple turnover. So I mean. But apple pie
he was giving middle fingers to those Raiders fans.
What's that all about? Come on now.
No, I think he's done with you guys just as much as
we've been done with him though. That's the thing though. But
we're gonna retire him this week. He's gonna
be. And dessert. before I forget, dessert, man. You got to get that apple pie from
Dude,
Costco. Warm it up. Get the ice
Good.
cream. Throw it on there. Mix it up. Oh, you good.
That's what I'm talking about,
now. I
man.
need to go get something to eat. I'm kind of hungry.
I haven't eaten today. I'm hungry now. Thanks for
And
that
I'm hungry for
apple
some
pie.
W's, but we haven't been eating that.
See what you started. Come on now.
Really got me hungry, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy. I'm with you, someone. I'm not a turkey guy. Like, if we're gonna make a rotisserie chicken, baby, that's where it's at. But my family, the one side of my family, they'll put like a bunch of steaks on the grill sometimes for Thanksgiving, and that's where it's at.
You can't go wrong with that.
It's a very strange thing to say for Thanksgiving, I know, but if we got steak in the function, baby, I am all for it. Now, Samoan, before we get into today's episode, obviously some big news happening there for the Raiders that I do want to touch upon. We obviously threw it there into the title, so we do want to get your kind of just opinions on this. I feel like it's funny because we heard you kind of mention it last week about Chip Kelly. He's a terrible offensive coordinator. Is he part to why Geno and Ashton Genty? All of these guys are struggling. Brock Bowers just isn't being utilized. Jacoby left because he wasn't being utilized. You do ultimately end up firing Chip Kelly. What are your reactions to this, and where does this team go moving forward? And also, just what are your expectations for the offense?
Man, that's a lot. I mean, first of all, Chip Kelly getting fired, I was happy about it. I thought it should have been done. It kind of sucks because, like, one of my co-hosts that I go back and forth with, he had me thinking, is like, Chip Kelly was definitely one of the biggest problems over here, the way he was running the offense. And I was frustrated, even watching the game on Sunday against the Browns. And it's like a constant thing that we've been saying is just the fact that the defense at least does their job, or at least holds up or gets turnovers and puts us in good position to at least score. But the offense continues to run this like high school brand of football, and it's just frustrating to see. So I know that Chip Kelly is a big problem with this team, but I don't think he's the only problem with this team because, like, I would have loved to see Chip Kelly with a different quarterback and maybe an offensive line. Then we could see what happens. But then with everything I've been hearing is like, there's a disconnect between him, Pete Carroll, and everybody else. I mean, Pete Carroll didn't even hire him. I guess Tom Brady was the one that brought him in because, of course, we all thought that the offense would have been great this year, compared to last year. You bring in a guy from Ohio State that just won a natty, and you come over here, shit, it can't get any worse. But Chip Kelly made it worse. I mean, Luke Getsy last year was horrible, and then going into this year, we look even worse with a quarterback that I don't even know what he'd be doing out there half of the time. But I initially, like I said, I was happy about the move because I think the Raiders just had to do something, and after that showing, it had to be done. But another move is like the offensive line, because we know how bad the offensive line has been. Geno Smith has been bad as well. But I'm hoping that the Raiders, especially Pete Carroll, I know he loves his son, but he got to cut his ass because the offensive line. I don't even think that he was cut out to be an offensive line coordinator. I mean, the offensive line has looked even worse than it has before. So I don't think the firing should be done with Chip Kelly, but. I don't think that they're going to fire anybody else other than him, because they were asking Pete Carroll recently saying, oh, is there any other coaching changes? He said, no, I think we had enough for the rest of the year. And we're all like sitting there like, bro, we got one more coach that you could fire at least for that right now. As far as Greg Olsen, heck, third time's a charm. It can't get any worse. But then again, I've said that for the past 2-3 coordinators. So maybe I'm wrong. As far as what I'm expecting from this team moving forward, not much. I just want to win on Sunday. That's it. But past that, we might as well just keep moving up the draft boards right now.
Hey, man, it's certainly not a good way to start off a brand new regime. But Raiders fans, let us know in the comment section below. What do you think about firing Chip Kelly? Not even a full year into that hire. Make sure you guys let us know. But fellas, let's go ahead and let's hop into these Week 12 games. But before we do so, of course, got to give a massive shout out to our good friends over at Sleeper. Use the promo code RTS that you see on the screen, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Linked in the description box below. I want to kick this week's parlay off. Over to you, Marcus. You guys got a big win, of course, which we're going to break down here today. So we want to give you kind of the odds. We want to give you the favors this week. We want to crown you with the victory of the parlay. So looking at Rashee Rice this week, do you think that he is going to have over or under 73.5 receiving yards against the Dallas Cowboys?
Let's go over. Cowboys secondary has been kind of suspect all year long. Another defensive line has gotten a little bit better with Quinnen Williams, but nonetheless, give me the over on that.
I like that. Patrick Mahomes, what do you think about him? 267.5 passing yards.
playing his home state on Thanksgiving. He's got a lot of family going to be at this game. I think we're going to see a big game from Pat. So yeah, I'll take the over in that as well.
Ooh, I like that. And I mean, hey, we're seeing Travis Kelce maybe coming out of the woodworks a little bit here. Do you think anytime touchdown?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Thanksgiving, let's throw Kelce a little turkey leg. Come on. Yeah.
I can see that. I don't know why, but it's the holidays. It feels a little poetic. Get Travis Kelce in the end zone there. I feel like it just makes a ton of sense, man. Kind of, the day of giving. So what's Patrick Mahomes going to do? Going to give it to
there's going to be millions and millions of Swifties watching this game on a Thanksgiving. Yeah. They're saying it's going to be the most watched regular season game of all time. So why not? Let's let the NFL throw him a bone, throw him a tutty.
Hey, over under 2.5 times that Patrick Mahomes cries for a flag.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Over.
Over. As long as we win, I really don't give a shit how many times.
Over. I think we're all thinking the over on that one. But let's go ahead, guys. Let's get into this first game. Oh, actually, that's not the first game. Let's.
We don't have to talk about that game.
Oh, we didn't do this one, right? Oh no, we do have the first. There we go.
Perfect timing.
We're trying to find the Chiefs game. There we go. We got the first game here. Obviously, Ryan, your Broncos and the Chargers on bye week, so there's nothing to recap here for week 12. But Marcus, we did have a big game from your Kansas City Chiefs. Felt like you guys were going to lose this game early on. And Marcus, you're the one that told us last week, you guys essentially kind of got to win out here for the remainder of the season to have postseason chances. You come back from behind. You go into overtime. You win by 3 points. You got the win. That's all that matters against one of the league's hottest teams. How are you able to do that?
Yeah, this was an interesting game. I mean, for the most part, for most of this game, we were kind of dominating them through the stat sheet and everything. Time of possession, we were killing them. First downs, we were killing them. But we were just getting to the red zone, just getting field goals, not scoring touchdowns in this game. From the jump, it kind of started off rough. We did an RPO on our own 5-yard line, gets tipped, pick, then they score a touchdown. But for the most part, our defense played a really hell of a game. We didn't get the sacks that we wanted, but we were winning the line of scrimmage. Chris Jones played probably one of his best games of the year. It was our best game as far as stopping Jonathan Taylor. 22 yards in the first half of that game, the lowest amount of first half yards for him on the season. Finished the game with 58 yards rushing. And that was the second lowest total of the season. Interesting stat here. Jonathan Taylor was hit behind the line of scrimmage on 62.5% of his touches, allowing just 0.7 yards before contact. So we were getting after Jonathan Taylor and stifling him pretty good and making Daniel Jones be that guy, which I think we're starting to see him become that pumpkin, which I think a lot of us expected a little earlier this season. But this game, we talked about the red zone woes. I think we were 1 of 6 in the red zone this game. But we saw a little bit of a balance in this game for the first time. I've been talking on this show about balance. We finally got that. Kareem Hunt, 30 carries in this game, and a lot of crazy numbers on that. So it's the first time an Andy Reid running back in his Chiefs era, so this is going back to 2013, first time an Andy Reid running back had 30-plus carries in a game. First time a Chiefs running back's done that since 2012 with Jamal Charles against the Ravens. And the other crazy stat, it's the first time an Andy Reid running back in general, going back to his Eagles days, to 2011 when LaShawn McCoy had 30-plus carries. We're talking about breaking tendencies. We did that big time in this game and finally had a little bit of a balance there. But just going over the full on how the difference in this game goes to the fourth quarter. So we're down 11 points going into the fourth quarter. And from that point on, after Kareem Hunt has a big fumble in that fourth quarter, our defense just goes locked down. Our offense comes alive. So for the start of the fourth quarter to overtime, the Chiefs had 41 plays to the Colts 12 plays. We had 236 yards offensively to their 18 yards. We had 13 first downs. They had 0 first downs. And then their last 4 possessions, all 3 and outs. So, our defense, it was a collective effort offensively and defense. And Rashee Rice, we started to attack them in the seams and between the hash marks. And Rashee Rice finally looked like the guy that we've been waiting him to kind of look like this year, especially with his yak. He just looked phenomenal. But just overall, this game was while it was close, if you look at the numbers in this game, it was a domination. Time possession, 42-25, 33 first downs to 10 first downs overall throughout the game. Just an overall collective effort. I would have liked that not to go to overtime, but we'll still fix the red zone woes here. But it was a big game, and we talk about one possession games and how we've been on the losing end of those this year. We finally got over that hump this season. And it was a big win against Indianapolis, who was the one seed in the AFC going into this game. A lot of people thought they were the world beaters, and we kind of showed that Daniel Jones is same old in this game. And we broke them out of their tendencies of just trying to run the ball the entire game. They really went away for Jonathan Taylor pretty early on in that game and tried to make Daniel Jones beat us. And like that's usually what happens when we play the Ravens when they stop running the ball and they want to have this kind of dual match between Lamar and Mahomes. Like, dude, like that's not your game, and that's not their game at all. And Indianapolis kind of went to kind of throw mode in this game, and they didn't really need to. But yeah, huge win for us. And now let's start rolling this. And we have the next 6 games. Pretty somewhat, I would say it's a good schedule for us. We had a lot of these games at home, and then we're playing the Titans and the Raiders at the end of the season. So win those home games, beat the Titans and the Raiders. I like our chances to run the table here.
Hey man, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know, Indiana Jones, man, he deserves the nickname for a reason. He deserves the extension for a reason. But part of me just wonders, is there a world in which he is this year's Sam Darnold, like Minnesota Vikings version of Sam Darnold, who lit up the regular season but got to the postseason, and then the moment was too big for him and he reverted back to the quarterback he was before? That's something that I'm going to be watching from the Colts as we enter the postseason, man. I think we saw a little bit of that, certainly in this game. But Simone, let's go on over to you. What did you think about this game?
Man, Colts, man, y'all had one job, like literally just one job, and y'all couldn't even do that, man. I didn't really keep up with it until like the end of it because I was at the game and then we were all watching the screen. I was like, damn, okay, they could put this one away. But yeah, I felt like they handed this game away. And to Marcus's point, man, they went away from what their identity was, and this is something that we talked about, previewing the game is like, because I had the Colts winning. And the only way they would lose is if the Chiefs were able to neutralize Jonathan Taylor, and which they did. But I felt like they went away from that, especially going into the fourth quarter when you're up 11 points. Just continue to run. And I think I seen a stat where Jonathan Taylor only had 3 carries in the fourth quarter. Daniel Jones was only 3 of 11 in his final passes, and then they went three and outs in the fourth quarter as well, which gave the Chiefs a chance to drive down the field. And I mean, shout out to Rashee Rice, really put this team on his back later on. 8 receptions, 141 on the day, and then going into overtime, receiving the ball, you would think that the Colts would try to do their best to drive down the field, but they weren't able to do that. And once you give Patrick Mahomes any ounce of life, he's gonna do what he does, whether it's with the refs or without. He did a great job driving down the field, and they were able to put this one away. Of course, as a Raider fan, I want the Chiefs to stay down with us. But hey, I think moving forward, it does seem like a winnable schedule for them. So they're going to be creeping back in. But I felt like a loss. This loss would have definitely made their playoff hopes really tough. But now they just find a way to just crawl right back into it, and who knows what happens in these next couple of weeks. And as long as they get in a dance, I think it's going to be kind of scary, But a solid win for the Chiefs, coming back down 11 in the fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. One of those things where now you're beating a major player in the AFC playoff picture. So beating them and bringing them down, what that win will do for KC. I mean, we cannot undermine how big that is. And look, amongst Patriots fans, when we're talking about the postseason, who do you want to play? Who do you not want to play? We're looking at KC, and I can tell you from a Patriots fan standpoint, we're saying you do not want the Chiefs in the playoffs, because I don't care what they're doing in the regular season. How many times do we need to see this? The 2000, what was it, Ryan? The 2015 Denver Broncos, I think you guys won like 9 games, and then you went and won Super Bowl 50. The New England Patriots winning Super Bowl 53 in 2018. They were losing games they shouldn't, even upwards in the end in December. They went and they won the Super Bowl. All you need to do in the regular season is win enough games to get to the dance. And when you get to the dance, that's when you play your best football. And the Chiefs definitely have the ability to do that with Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. But Ryan, let's go on up to you. What were your thoughts on the game?
First, I think we actually got home field advantage in the playoffs somehow, because we won the AFC West that year. So we did kind of have an advantage. Yeah.
A slight advantage there. Slight advantage for sure.
So, yeah. Extremely disappointed, man. I had the weekend off. Everything was going great. And I was like, I'm going to get to witness the Chiefs loss as well. And I think the Colts were up by a decent amount early in the game as well. And I thought that they're going to maybe just keep the game ahead by at least like 10 points or so, at most a full touchdown. But no, they couldn't hold it. I mean, all credit to the Chiefs and how they play, like to all the stuff that Marcus said. But ultimately, like, yeah, I think I agree with you, Colby, that Daniel Jones, he just can't rise to the occasion. Same thing like Sam Darnold, man, where, you know, when the offense is rolling and the operation's going well, like he's there firing on all cylinders. But once shit gets tough and a part of the offense, in this case, the running game, Jonathan Taylor, isn't as potent as he is every single week. Like we couldn't even stop him when we played them, and we lost by a field goal, which really we lost by BS call. But I mean, that's the last play. We had other chances. Colts should have had this one, and they should have put it away. I mean, I give them credit for taking it down to the wire like that in Kansas City, but extremely disappointed. I think the Chiefs still can lose a game, but I would say that the Colts have a much harder schedule ahead. I'm talking about in the perspective of the Broncos for us to have that number one spot in the AFC. I mean, obviously the Patriots are there as well. But just to not see the Chiefs. And I'm not actually particularly scared of the Chiefs in the playoffs. Like I said, I feel like we are one of the teams, since we are a division rival, that we can match up well against them compared to maybe the Patriots, because we see the Chiefs a lot, that we won't be as susceptible to those playoff Chiefs moments. But who knows? But overall, man, like they're still in it. And I don't like it. So I'm Raiders, give me something in these next couple weeks.
Good.
Just
we're good.
Give me something, man.
We're good.
We're good. We don't need to win no more games other than sweep.
That would certainly be a great playoff game. KC, big in division game against the Broncos. I don't know. Maybe we'll see it, man. Maybe we'll see it. Andrew, let's go on over to you. Wrap us up with this game. What are your thoughts?
Man, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Come on, Colts, put them away. I couldn't believe it, guys. Look, already went through the stats. Marcus did a great job of that. But, guys, 494 total yards by the Chiefs, 346 passing yards. And one of the big things that I saw with the Colts is I'm looking at the stat line here, 11 penalties for the Colts, 83 total yards. They only had 25 minutes of total possession. The Chiefs had the ball over 42 minutes in this game, which is absolutely crazy, man. And the fact that the Colts were still in it says a lot about the Colts, right? I think the Colts are a very good team. But I've said this over and over again, and this is what makes me a little worried about the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? You're playing your best football by the end of the season. The Chiefs are playing good football right now, and they obviously beating the Colts. But I think the Colts are kind of on the downhill slide, right? I think they started strong, but I think they're finishing weak. So at least they've looked a little weaker in the past few games. So, but kudos to the Colts, man. I mean, or the Chiefs for getting this win. But I mean, interesting game. I was blown away. I was like, man, come on, dude, put these guys away, and they couldn't do it, guys. The Kansas City Chiefs had 91 total plays. That's crazy. They only had 50 plays. The Colts only had 50 plays. It's just unbelievable. And then I don't know. Hey, man, the Chiefs might be back. I hate to say it, but like I said, 3-horse race in the AFC West. Again, the Raiders, as we know, dumpster fire. We've already recapped that conversation, but it's Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos. That's all that matters. The Raiders are the redheaded stepchild that, we like to beat up on. You'll see that this week too.
Oh.
Well, guys, let us know your thoughts about this one in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and let's get into the final game here from week 12 before we get into these week 13 previews, because we got Cleveland, we got Vegas. It really felt like it was a top opportunity for the Raiders to get a win here. Now, look, granted, the Raiders were going up against a top 3 defensive unit in the Cleveland Browns, which a lot of people do not give nearly enough credit for. It's their offense that's inept, but this one felt maybe a little poetic to me, Samoan, because man, all of last year, all of the offseason, it was Shador's a Raider, Shador's a Raider, Shador's a Raider. You had an opportunity to go get him. You chose not to. And then Shador kind of went off and he showed a little something against the fans that thought they were going to be getting him. What were your thoughts on this one? And do you miss the Shador talks?
Man, yeah, man. I was going into this game, perfect timing. I was one of them Raider fans that really wanted Shador in the draft, first round, second round, third round. I mean, it didn't matter. But, I felt like the NFL kind of scripted this in a way to, it was like, you know what? hold Shador off until they play the Las Vegas Raiders. And I feel like the Raiders are the perfect team to go up for a debut. And crazy stat I didn't know about going into this game is that Browns quarterbacks in their debut are 0-17. But you know who got their one win? Shador Sanders. And he had a solid game. I know a lot of people were writing him off last game after looking horrible against the Baltimore Ravens, but not once did I see him not feel like at least composed and in charge. Yeah, he had some missed throws here and there, overthrows, but he was able to make some plays that I was like, man, I wish our quarterback could do that, right? But overall, Shador had a pretty solid game, 11 for 2209, had a touchdown and interception, and that goes right back to the Raiders defense, and the defense played solid. Like, we played a pretty solid game for the most part. Had 2 turnovers, a fumble from Jerry Jeudy, shout out to Jerry Jeudy, and then obviously the interception from Shador Sanders. But our offense not being able to capitalize on both of those, we scored no points. We only scored a last-minute touchdown to Ashton Genty, and we had a little bit of life, but offensive line struggled. Geno Smith struggled. The play calling was horrible. It's nothing more. I mean, there's nothing new. I think I say this almost every single week. I think this is our 6th straight loss so far. So we lose to the Browns, and right now I feel like we're the Browns of the league, and that's a real low. So I at least we're one step closer to the top pick, but I still feel like the Raiders will miss that up and win a couple more games, meaningless games. Hopefully it's this week, like I said earlier. Hopefully this week, Andrew and James could feel a little bit sad, and I have some bragging rights in LA. But it was bad. It was bad, and then playing against the Browns defense. I mean, Myles Garrett was tearing us up when they were putting him 1-on-1. He was already in the backfield multiple times, and yeah, it's just another game, big game by Shador. Definitely a statement game, and it's so bad that Shador Sanders is now the starting quarterback for the Browns, even though I don't think Kevin Stefanski really wanted that. But and that was off of 1 week of practice. 1 week of practice with Shador Sanders. So I think it's just another embarrassing loss. More so, we fired our offense coordinator. Geno Smith is flipping off fans at the end of the game, and we're just going to move on to the next week like none of this happened and just redo it all over again. Well, not this week, but after that. But yeah, just another week.
There was a comment. There was a comment before we started the show, and I would scroll up, and I feel like I might be here for a while. Someone said, someone should tell Simone, he doesn't have to be a Raiders fan. I was like,
I'm already in it, dog. Like I can't go back, dog. I can't go back. I chose this life.
You're sticking with your team now, Samoan. I mean, there's no point in leaving now.
Because when we get high, man, they'll feel much better. And that's how I felt with Max Crosby. When people say, "Hey, he deserves to go somewhere," I say, "No, he deserves to stay with us. He got paid to stay with us. He gonna struggle just with us." So, everybody else, we're here because I know when we turn it around pretty soon. Maybe next year. I don't know, but
yeah, you're not paying him for the talent. You're not paying him for the talent. You're paying him to just stick in a really sucky situation. That's all right.
He's going to be loyal to the Raiders just as much as Pete Carroll is loyal to Geno Smith.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah.
Ouch.
Yikes, man. Yikes. Well, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into Week 13, your previews, your predictions. But before we do that, of course, do want to give a big shout-out to our good friends over at RotoWire, man. You guys know RotoWire. We talked about them early on in the season, but we're not talking about how to dominate your fantasy leagues. We're talking about how to make sure that you don't lose money. In fact, we're telling you how to make money. Baby, what's better than that? Are you kidding me? How to make money? What they're going to do over on RotoWire is they are going to tell you the overs and the unders that they want you to take every single week. So, for example, we look here. They want you to take the over on Mac Hollins receiving yards at 29.5 against the New York Giants. Giants, one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. Mac Hollins could easily get that over on one reception. I'm a big fan of that. They want you to take the under on Jackson Dart passing yards of 213.5 against the New England Patriots this week. And they also want you to take the under on Tua Tagovailoa passing yards at 222.5. Make sure you guys aren't losing money this year. Make sure you are winning all of your parlays, all your player props. Link in the description box below. When you use the promo code RTS, When you sign up today with RotoWire, you will also get 15% off an exclusive deal that will not be there for long. Link in the description box below. Remember that supporting the sponsors, that supports the channel, supports everybody here at the AFC West Roundtable and everybody at Roundtable Sports. But guys, let's go ahead and let's get into this first game. Denver Broncos coming off of a bye week. You have a little bit of extra preparation for the Commanders, which, look, no disrespect to the Commanders, no disrespect to the Broncos. You don't really need extra preparation for this one, considering you are playing a practice squad team. This is quite literally a team that is playing preseason football because of all of the injuries they have on the offensive and defensive side of the football. Ryan, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say in regards to this. Like, they just got to take care of business. Broncos are, I think Alex Singleton's coming back. We're getting some players back healthy. I think Pat Surtain might be back. Honestly, we should just hold Pat Surtain out for another week. There's no point in, because he has a pec injury or soft tissue. Might as well just hold him out for another week. The secondary's been holding it down right now. Commanders are going to be without Jaden Daniels, which honestly, like, I thought they should have flexed this game out. It's Sunday Night Football. I'm sorry, everybody. Like, maybe it is a good game, but like, yeah, it would. I actually would have preferred to see Jaden Daniels play, so that we could see a competitive game and actually kind of get tested. Because I think we still, like, while we did beat the Chiefs, I still want this team to continue to get calloused a little bit leading into the playoffs. But yeah, I expect the Broncos to win by a large amount, or at least double digits for sure. They should, like you said, practice squad team. This offense, they've got to look good. You just had a whole bye week. You had a mini bye week, and you came back against the Chiefs looking pretty solid. Take the next step. While there are a lot of comparisons to the 2015 Broncos that won the Super Bowl and this team, that's not necessarily a good thing when the comparison is that the offense is not good, and that was a crippled Peyton Manning, and this is a second-year Bo Nix, but he's starting to look better. He's starting to get the things going, but like the Chiefs guy in the comments just said, trap. Could be a trap game. You never know. They still got Bobby Wagner, Von Miller. Von Miller's not the same Von Miller. We know that. But listen, Marcus Mariota, he's balled out a couple of times as a backup. So this team's going to prepare as if it was Jaden Daniels, and they're preparing for Marcus Mariota. They're going to prepare for both. They've done that in the past. I forgot which team that was. That Vance Joseph said that's how their defense prepares. They prepare for both, not just one QB. So I think defense will come ready. Offense, I want to see a show. I want to see you guys take that next step. Style points matter in this game for me. So I'm going to take a Broncos win.
All right, Ryan is going to take a Broncos win, which I don't think any of us are really shocked about that one. Jaden Daniels questionable, Terry McLaurin questionable, Treylon Burks questionable, Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey, Austin Eckler on IR from a defensive standpoint, Drake Jackson, Dorian Strachan, Dietrich Wise, all on injured reserve, Trey Amos. So, oh my gosh, that Commanders team went from NFC Championship to, wow, that team cannot stay healthy to save their lives. But Andrew,
era, right back to the Dan Snyder era.
That's rough. I mean, that many injuries is unprecedented. But Andrew, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Look, the Broncos have gotten lucky, right? They're luckily they have a good defense. Their offense has played okay at times. They've been spotty, but they say defense wins championships. Right now, the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the league. So I think that's what's kept them in games. That's what given them their record they have now. I do think they win this game, but you're right. They are playing a very banged up team. I know when the Chargers played them, Jay Daniels came back and they had most of their players for the most part. And they were motivated to play the Chargers, and the Chargers, as we know, have been up and down this entire season. I always say this: you need your best when the best is needed, right? And at the end of the day, we have 6 games left. Broncos have 6 games left. These next 6 games will really determine what happens in this division. You got to be playing your best now. And, like I mentioned with the Colts, I don't think the Colts are really playing the best offense at this moment. Their defense hasn't been great. Chiefs are looking good. I'm curious to see what these teams look like coming out of the bye, right? We've talked a lot about Chargers injuries, all the above. Same with the Broncos. I think the Broncos have had some injuries, but how are they going to look after the bye on, potentially a trap game? I just don't know. I don't know how they're going to look after this game. Again, the offense, I wouldn't expect much of the offense, in my opinion. But I think their defense is probably going to be good enough to get them the W here in this one. So again, I'm going to go for the Broncos, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Trap games do occur in the NFL, and this has been a really weird season. So, we'll see what happens.
Andrew is also going to go with the Broncos. Marcus, what's Vegas thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually an interesting spread. 6.5 points. I thought that Denver would be like a 7.5 or 8.5 or maybe even a double-digit favorite, but 6.5 is kind of weird. 95% of the money is on the Broncos to win money line, and 80% is on the spread for the Broncos. So public's back in Denver big time. I'm gonna go Denver here. I don't see an avenue where the Commanders can win this game. I know it's at home, but FedEx Field isn't really much of a home field advantage. I'll go Broncos here. Jales is not playing this game. It's unlikely to play, and he's targeting a comeback this season. They don't know when he's going to play. I think Broncos win this game. It's a bad defense, but it's a bad team, especially the injuries. 30th in points allowed, 27th in rush yards allowed. Maybe RJ Harvey can get some confidence this game and has a big game this week for the Broncos' sake. Because they do need him to kind of come along here as we do approach the playoffs. I think Broncos win handily. They should win this thing by 2 possessions, 3 possessions. The fact that 6.5 points is very odd to me. I'll go Broncos.
All right. Looks like Marcus is going to go Broncos. I feel like everybody's going Broncos here. But Samoan, you want to switch up the tempo, make like Sea Breezy?
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, let's switch it up. Man, anything can happen. It's any given Sunday every single week, and this does seem like a trap game. We've seen crazier things happen in the NFL. But yeah, I'm gonna go with everybody as well. Like, I just think the Broncos coming off of a bye week, they should take care of business here against a banged up Commanders team. I think everybody kind of stated the main reasoning, but yeah, I got the Broncos winning this one.
I'm just glad you understood what I said, or else it would have been really silent. So thank you for being cultured and understanding what that meant. But let's go ahead and let's get into this next game. Let us know your thoughts about that one in the comment section below. We got a big in-division game. That's the moment we talked about. Look, everybody's counting out the Raiders. I understand why. But you fire the offensive coordinator, maybe a little bit of momentum. Division games can go any way. Chargers have been very, very hot and cold this season. So let's kick this one off to Andrew first. What are you expecting to happen in this one?
Chargers going to win, but, I'll just say this. Like, how is this team going to respond after the bye week? It's really strange. I was doing some stats on the Chargers offensively and defensively. Guys, we run 11 personnel 57% of the time, but our most effective formation is 10 personnel, which is crazy because we have a shitty offensive line. And it's like, the problem with that is your most effective play formation is 10 personnel. That means that there's not a lot of protection for Justin Herbert. That's exactly why he's getting dry humped up and down the field, right? You got Max Crosby on one side, you got Kuntz on the other side. It's a problem, right? So, but that's by far their most effective play formation, and even running out of 11 personnel, which is even their second best, which is crazy. And anyways, my point is the Chargers, they've got to figure out a way to protect Justin Herbert. You do not want someone like Max Crosby blowing up Justin Herbert and getting him hurt, right? And so you got to probably go a little bit more like 11 personnel, at least have one tight end to chip Max Crosby on that side. Wouldn't worry too much about the left side as much. But my point is, I'm curious to see what we do after the bye, right? I say that because you either get to run big jumbo packages like 22 personnel or 12 personnel and just try and pound the ball, which I think they should do because Amarian Hampton's coming back this week. He should be healthy. So we have a 1-2 punch combination. Get everyone right, get that offensive line playing better, take the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands. He can maybe throw the ball 25 times. You should get a W. As far as the defensive side of the ball is concerned, we run a very interesting formation, and actually the Ravens have been actually running this quite a bit. We run base, and we run this sub-nickel package, which is basically 2 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and the rest defensive backs, right? So you have 2 high safety or 3 high safety, but you allow Derwin James to be the big nickel. My point in saying this is I think what we should do defensively to beat the Raiders, pretty simple. Stop Ashton Genty, put Derwin James on Brock Bowers, shut him down, and then make Geno Smith throw the ball. You don't have good wide receivers, so it should be pretty easy from there. Now, having said that, how are we going to play after the bye week? That's the big question, right? So, I just listened to Jim Harbaugh before hopping this call, and he said, "Hey, we're ready to go. We made some adjustments. They're trying to figure out the offensive line." He seems to feel confident that they made some good adjustments in the bye week. We shall see. All intents and purposes, we should mollywop the Raiders, as we all know. But again, the Chargers have been, as you said perfectly, Colby, we've been up and down this season, so we'll see. But I still think the Chargers win by, I think the money line's like 9. Marcus, you can correct me on that if I'm right, but last I saw it was pretty high. So, look, long story short, we should win this game. We better win this game. We don't win this game, I'm going to cry and probably drink a bottle of bleach and jump off the top of SoFi Stadium when I get a second. So, anyways, should be a good game. Go Chargers, bolt up.
All right, Andrew's got his Chargers winning this game. Let's go down to the other half of this football game, and let's talk to Samoan. Samoan, you alluded to earlier that, hey, who knows, maybe you guys finally get a little bit of bragging rights there in L.A. Is this the game where you guys do it?
Yeah, man. Andrew's a good people, man. Him and James, but I hope I see him cry and jump off SoFi Stadium. But
ouch, ouch.
Hey, if there's, like I said before, man, if there's any game that the Raiders need to win, it's this one, because I'm tired of like showing up to SoFi Stadium every single year. I mean, Raider Nation, we show up all the time, and it's gonna be sad because this Raider Nation is gonna be showing up to watch a 2-9 team. But when it comes to LA, we're always gonna keep that energy. But it's just a team that plays on a field that always lets us down. And this week, it's not going to be any different. Now I know that we fired Chip Kelly. I don't know if that's going to magically change everything offensively, but defensively, especially both teams are struggling with their offensive line. Yep. We just got a bad quarterback. I mean, Justin Herbert's fighting for his life too, but I'm not worried defensively that Max Crosby and the defense could get to him and make some key stops, maybe a turnover or two. But it's the offense that I'm really worried about, because they haven't really shown me that they could go toe-to-toe with any other team, like offensively. And when they do, I think it's been only like 2 different occasions, and the special team just they take a vacation. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I'm worried about is our offense, Geno Smith, how well they would respond. If Raider Nation is calling for the Raiders to suspend Geno Smith or something, or at least sit him for a game just for what he did last week. But I don't think that Pete Carroll's going to let that happen. But we're going up against a Chargers team that we don't know what we're going to get out of them. Defensively, they're a pretty solid team as well. Offensive, I don't know. Are you guys getting Omarion back this week or no?
Yeah, Omarion's coming back this week.
Yeah. Okay. So that's another person to worry about on the offensive side of the ball. Stopping the run, that should be the number one thing for us, and then getting to Justin Herbert and just having them running around back there. But I'm hoping for a win. I'm expecting the Raiders to win. I know we suck. It is what it is. But hey, when it comes to these divisional games, it gets pretty close, man. Outside of us and the Chiefs, but between the Broncos and the Chargers, it could go both ways. And I'm hoping that the Raiders can finally at least win in LA, and we could have some type of bragging rights, because it's got to happen one way or another, man.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and let's get the thoughts of these other guys. Ryan, let's start with you. What do you think about this game?
Do me a solid, Raiders. Take down the Chargers, man. Gotcha. I want to get a Broncos dub this weekend and see a Chargers loss, kind of, make that gap a little bit bigger. I think the Raiders can do it. You guys always get a jolt when you fire someone on your staff, and I think Chip Kelly really was that bad. Also, do you guys not look at a coach's past when you hire them? Like, come on, we knew Chip Kelly flopped in the NFL. Pete Carroll got fired for a reason. Luke Getsy got fired for a reason. Josh McDaniels got fired as a head coach for a reason. So good luck. You guys are probably screwed with your next coach.
We're the home of second chances over here, man. We believe in you.
No, you guys are full of idiots over there. No,
that's awesome.
But I don't know. I think this is kind of a trap game for the Chargers. You guys are up and down, still kind of injured. Max Crosby is there on the Raiders, and that Chargers offensive line's banged up. So I think the Raiders are going to get that a big jolt not having Chip Kelly in there, because I don't know if any of you guys have seen like LaShawn McCoy talk about Chip Kelly, but those Eagles players hated him. Like, those guys hated him, and I think him being gone is really going to give this whole locker room a boost. It seems like even Pete Carroll hated him as well because, Pete's a very, upbeat guy, lots of energy, and you could tell their relationship was kind of sour. So I think the Raiders are going to take a dub this weekend.
Dude, Chip Kelly traded like every good player on the Eagles back in the day because I live in kind of around like that Philly area, and everybody's always just
they got Kiko Alonso though. He was solid.
Hey, yeah, they got one guy out of a 53-man roster. They said one guy.
One
could have won them
one
game.
One
could have won them every game. But let's go down to Marcus. Wrap us up with this game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so the line has fluctuated from 9 to 10, and right now, so you can get certain sports books have it at 9.5, but the one I'm looking at currently has a 10. Chargers are favored by 10 points. 96% of the money is on the Chargers for money line, and then 66% of the money is on the Chargers in the spread to win by 10 points. I'm going to go Chargers here. I've been picking the Raiders the last few weeks, and, it's just, smearing my face here with this one, man. I really hoped you guys were going to win that game last week against the Browns. I just thought, that was pathetic performance. But last 10 games against the Chargers, either in Los Angeles or San Diego, Raiders are 4-6 at LA or San Diego. That's not that bad, but I just think that Chargers are going to win, but I do think the Raiders cover the spread. I may be mistaken for going back to the well here and going with the Raiders to cover the spread. I think it's going to be close. I think Crosby's going to be able to wreak havoc against this front of the Chargers. And I read that Hampton, they just opened up his 21-day window. I didn't read he was coming back this week. So
he's been out there doing drills, so it looks like he's coming back. Harbaugh came out and said he's actually been trading he's been out there for about 2 weeks now. So okay. Even the game before he was out there practicing, I think they're kind of keeping mum's the word, so he should be back.
Gosh, a little gamesmanship going on. I will say this probably wouldn't be the game I'd want to bring him back. Against the Raiders. If he is, this 21-day window, give him another week against this kind of like preseason kind of game against the Raiders here. I think the Raiders cover the spread, but I want to pick Chargers here. I think the Raiders make it interesting with the defensive front versus the Chargers kind of questionable offensive line. So I do think it's going to be. I think the under is going to hit for sure. 41.5 points is the total for this game. So I do think the under hits for this game.
Well, all right, guys, let us know your thoughts about this game in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and let's get into the final game here of the week. Certainly an interesting one. The Dallas Cowboys coming off of a big game where they were down quite a bit against the Philadelphia Eagles. They come back from behind. Quinnen Williams definitely making his difference felt there on the defensive side of the football. Now they're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, who got a big win against the Colts. But like you alluded to again last week, Marcus, they got to continue to win. You can't just get one win here and there. You can't keep dropping these games. You got to win out if you really want to hold your own fate here. And so what are you expecting to happen in this one?
So with this game, it's an interesting one. It's kind of historical too. So the Chiefs were actually the first Dallas team, the Dallas Texans, the AFL team. I'm rocking it today.
Okay.
1960, they were the Dallas Texans from 1962 in the AFL, and then the NFL in the same year or shortly after the Texans were a team. The Cowboys were founded in the NFL. And 2 years later, for whatever reason, the Chiefs ended up moving to Kansas City. But yeah, so this is the battle of the two teams. I honestly was hoping that the Chiefs would break out the old uniforms, the Dallas Texans uniforms, against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, but they didn't. Missed opportunity for sure. But yeah, this is an interesting game. Both teams kind of surging at this time. Both teams really need this game. And just looking at some of the stats behind this game. So this is an indoor game in Jerry's world. Mahomes thrives in indoor games, 14-1 all-time in indoor games, 34 touchdowns to 7 INTs, averaging about 322 total yards. And this is a secondary that is susceptible against the pass. We've seen it all year against this team. And I know Quinnen Williams is there now. We're going to be without Trey Smith, our right guard, in that game. So that does kind of scare me a little bit because our backup, Mike Caliendo, sucks for a better term there, but he's rough. I do think, Dallas does play Eberflus in them. They do play a heavy zone scheme. And I do think what we did last week against the Colts, we were hammering them in the middle of the field with Rashee Rice. And I think a mix of Kelsey and Rashee Rice are going to have big games in this one against the Cowboys secondary. And again, we still have to continue to run the ball I know Kareem Hunt had 30 carries last week, and they say Pacheco might come back this week, but I don't really trust it. I'm seeing photos of him coming out of practice, and he's got the Joel Embiid like full on knee thing going on there. It's like that's just too much for a running back to wear throughout a game. So I'm curious to see how that looks. And also too, we just signed Dameon Pierce, a running back from the Texans, who apparently the Broncos and the Chargers were into him, and also the Eagles, and he ended up choosing to come to Kansas City, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if he'll get involved in the rotation at running back this week, but definitely put him out there at kick return. I really love to see what he can do kick return. He's much better than what we have back there, so I'd love to see that. But yeah, need to run the ball. I want to see balance again against this team, but I do think Mahomes' record speaks for itself in dome games. I think he'll have a great game. And then defensively, obviously, CeeDee Lamb and Pickens is a tough matchup for our guys. And without a pass rush, which we don't really have much of, going to be very interesting to see what happens on the defensive side of the ball. Stop Javonte Williams and just kind of have a field day trying to get to Dak with our blitz, man. We're going to have to blitz the heck out of Dak this week. So going to be curious to see what happens with that. It's the highest point total of the week at 52.5. I do think it's going to be over that. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game on Thanksgiving, projected to be the highest, most watched regular season game of all time. So it's going to be an interesting one. Just Vegas lines here, 3.5 points. The Chiefs are favored by 3.5. About 66% of the money is on the Chiefs to cover, or to cover the money line. 38% is picking the Chiefs to cover the spread. So most money's on the Dallas for the spread. Most of the money's on the Chiefs for just straight up. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs straight up. We need this game. I think Dallas is really high on their laurels right now after winning that game on Sunday. Big game against their own division team, and they were celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. If you watched the post game of their locker room, they were acting like they won the Super Bowl. It was kind of ridiculous, but hey, give them the emotional victory, and I feel like I'm coming down against Patrick Mahomes in the Dome on Thursday.
All righty, let's go on over to Samoan. What do you think about this big game?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a shootout between both teams. And I mean, the Cowboys, after making their trade, is on a 2-game win streak now. Of course, beating us and coming back against the Eagles. But, I think this is going to be a huge game for Patrick Mahomes as well. And I feel like, as a fan, I really want the Cowboys to win. And that's kind of crazy for a Raider fan to say. But I don't know. I just feel like right now with the momentum that they do have and that right now they're in like win now mode, or like they must win games. I mean, moving forward, I have the Chiefs coming out of this game with the victory. But I think it's going to be an entertaining one and something that, I would actually watch on Thanksgiving. But yeah, defensively, I see I feel like the Chiefs have a good chance if they continue to run the ball the way that they have against a Cowboys team that has struggled against the run. So that's going to be another thing that's interesting to see. But overall, I got the Chiefs winning this one, and hopefully it should be an entertaining one.
All right, let's go on up to you, Ryan. What do you think about this one?
Man, a few weeks ago, before the Cowboys made those moves to add to the defense, I was kind of like, damn, I'm gonna have to watch this garbage on Thanksgiving. Chiefs are gonna dominate. I feel a little bit better about the Cowboys now, especially after that win against the Eagles. I mean, granted, like division game for the Cowboys that was against the Eagles, but I think if the Cowboys defense can just be like somewhat just slightly below average, because they're a terrible secondary, and mostly the secondary specifically. If they can just be almost average, I think this game will come down to the final 2 minutes. But the Chiefs, I expect them to have a good day offensively. Ultimately, it just depends on how the Chiefs defense also matches up against the Cowboys offense. Considering it's in Jerry's world, I don't know, man. This could go either way, but I'm probably going to take the Chiefs just because, let's just be honest, they're hitting their stride right now to get into the playoffs. Their back is against the wall, and while they have kind of been in a slump for some of this year and not winning those close games, I think they're going to win this one.
All right, looks like Ryan's also going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. And Andrew, wrap us up with today's show. Who are you taking?
Man, I tell you, this is an interesting one. Probably the Chiefs, but interesting. I think Marcus may have said this. The Cowboys actually hold a 5-7 record against the Chiefs in regular season and playoff matchups, which I thought was pretty interesting. Interestingly, also in 1995 Thanksgiving Day, between the two teams drew 35.7 million viewers, a viewership record for an NFL regular season game that still stands today. 1995, crazy. Anyways, doesn't matter for today, but I thought that was interesting stat. So, look, I think Mahomes is just rocking and rolling. I think he's got the highest passer yards per game during that span. I think it's 275 yards passing, which is amazing. Prescott has looked great. I think everyone said it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be an interesting game. I am curious to see, though, how the Cowboys defense, they have gotten better when they got, I think, Quinnen Williams, I think from the Jets, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but they've actually looked better once they traded for him. So I'm curious to see how that is. But, man, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm excited to watch it. Again, I'm going to be eating my yams and my dark turkey, okay? And I'm going to be watching this game. I'm going to see how it goes. And the green bean casserole. That's what I'm going to be watching. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to be eating, having a good time. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to pick the Chiefs, and we'll see how it goes.
Hey, man, well, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. This is where we kick it off to you guys. What are your thoughts on Week 12, and who are you taking to win in Week 13? Let us know in the comment section below. Of course, remember to leave a big like on the video on your way out. It helps support us here, not just at the AFC West Roundtable, but just everybody at Roundtable Sports so tremendously. Pushes us out into the YouTube world and basically tells YouTube, hey, this channel is worth showing other people. So if you want to help us, it takes you less than a second. It's completely free. Throw up that thumbs button. And of course, subscribe here to the AFC West Roundtable so that you get notified every single time we go live, every single time we post a video, every single time we post a short, a community post, all that good stuff so that you have an opportunity to be updated on the latest news, but also get in on the discussion. Of course, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to everybody. We will see you live next Tuesday, same time, same place. Appreciate you guys for watching.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.